Before the video starts, I would just like to say that 73% of the people who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed, so if you enjoy the content I put out, I would really appreciate a sub. It's totally up to you, but I'd love you for it. Anywho, enjoy the video. Hey guys, it's Phantom here, and welcome back to a brand new video, everyone, where in today's video, I am going to be talking about how I managed to get myself stuck in Wizard City for a solid 2 years straight. That's right, 2 years. That's like a lot of days, man, and even more hours, and I don't even want to think about how many minutes that is. But anyway, you get the point. It was a very long time that I was stuck there, and this happened unsurprisingly at the very beginning, I think, of me playing the game, as I had not unlocked any other worlds at all whatsoever, so yeah, I hadn't gotten very far into the game, right? And like every player who has ever played this game ever, I hit the Cyclops Lane and Firecat Alley paywalls. That's right, even a total whiz stud such as myself experienced the disappointment of finding out that in order to continue playing the game and progress through the storyline, I had to pay up. And of course I did eventually, I think that much is obvious. However, it took a while before that could happen. And I mean a long while. 2 years, my friends. That is how long it took me to work up the courage to ask my mom if I could buy some crowns, and until that happened, I was condemned to the emptiness of wandering through the free areas of Wizard City. And you know, that might sound absolutely awful. I mean, having your progress slowed down immensely in a game you love just because you're a broke kid who can't fork over the dollars you needed to continue, and I guess it was awful in a way. I mean, I did really get bored of it eventually, hence why I did eventually end up making a purchase, right? But honestly, during that time, I have to say I really made the best of my situation. Like, it's actually wild that I was able to keep myself occupied for so long in a game that had so little content for me to play. But I really did manage. I guess that's just a testament, maybe, to how much I truly love this game. Because I just have to say that this type of thing has never happened with me and any other game before. Crazy stuff, man, honestly. But as I was saying, I did indeed find ways to keep myself occupied with the game, even though there wasn't technically much that I could do. And some of these ways consisted of, doing side quests, failing miserably at PvP, vigorously training my pets to absolutely no avail, playing the fairgrounds minigames, and, of course, randomly defeating different enemies for no apparent reason. And honestly, I don't really understand nowadays why all of those things brought me as much fulfillment as they did back then, especially because I was, doing those things, well, not very well, but it brought me fulfillment nonetheless. Me as a kid, for some reason, was super content with leveling up my pets, even though they would almost always get selfish talents. And me as a kid was super content, even though the fairgrounds minigames gave me 0 good rewards. Me as a kid was super content, even though I lost almost every PvP match that I was a part of. Okay, maybe he wasn't super content with that one, but he still tried, damn it, and it definitely took up some time, which was definitely good for him. I mean, I guess you could say that kids in general are more content with, less to do as opposed to older people because their minds are just simply mush. But I won't lie, one thing that I did that I will never understand why it brought me so much joy was the random defeating of enemies that I carried out just on a daily basis. And that is to say, I would just battle different enemies over and over, sometimes the same enemies multiple times in a row, for fun and also to get XP and drops, of course. because I did still care about bettering my wizard in the game in any way that I could, even though I didn't have access to much, but once again, I tried. Because really, what else can you do in terms of playing PvE within the game when you have no other options? You know, during that time, I always hoped that magically one of the enemies or bosses that I defeated would drop something actually useful to me, and then all of the countless hours spent farming would finally be worth it. But nope, it never happened. It never did. Because at the end of the day, I was just a lone wizard stuck in Wizard City and was condemned to only defeating Wizard City mobs for the rest of my days for just absolutely no reason. But of course, me as a kid really didn't know any better, and with too much hope for my own good, of course, I ended up spending way too much time trapped in the confines of Wizard City. I remember specifically spending many hours defeating field guards in particular in the Haunted Cave, as they were the strongest mob that I could find in the whole of Wizard City, and my logic at the same time told me that the strongest mobs were bound to drop the best stuff, but of course that isn't always how it works. And in this case, well, it wasn't how it worked, and it's safe to say I was very disappointed. I also remember defeating the Harvest Lord, as well as the Kraken a lot as well, especially the Kraken, just because of those sweet, sweet one-day mounts that he drops. My god, me as a kid, like, would just get ecstatic every time I got one of those. I remember farming him, just nonstop till I had a bunch of them in my bag, and then just used them all over the course of like 2 weeks or some shit, which was pretty insane. So yeah, it's safe to say I went pretty hard on this game back then, even though I didn't necessarily have the means to go hard, but little me found a way, I guess. Oh, and then after all of this happened, of course, I finally asked my mom to allow me to spend money on a game, and to my surprise, she let me, and my god, it was one of the best days of my life. Oh, but of course, after I purchased the whole of Wizard City, I was stuck there for a while, as well, as back then I wasn't allowed to buy crowns too often, but still, it was quite significant for me and gave me access to, basically a whole new world. Not technically, but in my eyes, it kind of was, if you know what I mean. And, I still ask myself to this very day if I really needed to wait an entire 2 years before asking my mom for crowns. Probably not, in all honesty, but I mean, that's really okay, as I wouldn't take back those 2 years for the world, as I still had a ton of fun. But yeah, anyways, guys, that is pretty much going to be it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, you can always leave a like on it, as that would really help me out, and I would appreciate it. But yeah, also tell me down below in the comments how long it took you to get past the Wizard City paywall, as I'm only now realizing that I was a pretty stupid kid, and I'm wondering if there are more idiots out there like me. But anyways, that's gonna be all from me. I will see you all in the next video or stream, whenever that may be. So take care, and peace out, guys.